Hello again, everyone. Welcome to my channel and thank you for visiting. So there's always something that piques my interest and compels me to share my opinion. A lot of things are going at the same time, and it would be difficult to do it all in one video. So I'm going to break it down into multiple. The first thing that I want to talk about is I finally caved in and opened a TikTok account and posted on TikTok. This video might very well be posted on TikTok, and for the record, I don't like TikTok. I don't like the model of TikTok. I don't like the use of TikTok. But apparently, I have to, or I need to, in order to deliver my message as much as possible, to spread the message. So a trend, or I noticed a whole bunch of these clips and videos on TikTok that are talking about, they're trying to be positive about the resilience of the Palestinian people. And where do they get that resilience? Oh, it must be from their faith. So let me go order a Quran and learn about their faith so that I can also be as resilient. That's so stupid, so ignorant, so 2023 Gen Z or whatever they're called. Not all Palestinians are Muslims. I am a Palestinian, and I'm not a Muslim. I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Jew. I'm not a Baha'i. I'm not a Ismaili. I'm not a Alawi. I am not Shia nor Sunni. I am a free, critical thinker. You can say I'm agnostic. You can say I'm anti-theist. But I don't believe in any ideology, organized ideology that is based on absolute faith. But again, this is not about me. I'm just giving myself as an example of the broader principle or broader issue. And that is, Palestinians are not all Muslims. Palestinians don't have a uniform or unanimous faith. Here's a little secret. Don't tell anyone. Jesus Christ was born in Bethlehem. That is in Palestine. And we have two churches. One of them is, I forgot the names in English, Kanisat al-Mahd and Kanisat al-Qiyamah. So the Resurrection Church and the Birth of Jesus Church. These are all in Palestine, Jerusalem, the two churches, and Bethlehem is a city, town that still exists today, Bethlehem. And he was born there. So Islam has never been the native religion of Palestine. In fact, Palestine was conquered by the Muslims. It wasn't liberated. God didn't promise the Muslims Palestine. None of that is true. And so now that we've established that Islam is not the only religion in Palestine and among Palestinian people. Now, the Palestinian issue, meaning the political and struggle of the Palestinian population, the Palestinian people, the individual who deserves the right to determine where and what and how to live their life, whether they want to be part of an independent state or a one state with Israel, yet with absolute equal rights and responsibilities. The right to live in dignity, the right to live with responsible freedom, meaning obeying the laws and civility and safety. All of that, and of course there's a lot more. We're talking about just your basic human rights, and being natural human rights or the Declaration of Human Rights according to the UN. None of the representatives of the Palestinian people, the official and acknowledged singular voice of the Palestinian people, who can negotiate on their behalf, who can sign on their behalf, is the PLO, the Palestine Liberation Organization, PLO. That in itself is an umbrella entity that includes the three major factions of Palestinian political and at some point militant factions, plus a lot of small, what we call dekakin, which means a hole-in-the-wall store. The PLO included Fatah, which Yasser Arafat was one of the founders, and he became the president of. And then there was the PFLP, the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. That was created or founded by a Christian, let me say that again, by a Marxist, leftist doctor named Hakim George Habash. And he is from or of a Christian background. Hint, hint. Not all Palestinians are Muslim. And then there's the popular democratic, what is it? Democratic Front for the Liberation of Palestine. That's the third one. And the PFLP was the largest by number of members. But anyways, all of them and all the sub-factions and the PLO itself, the umbrella organization, always called for, exercised the charter, the declaration, everything about it was secular. Religion was never part of the official Palestinian cause. However, to be fair, to be honest and transparent and objective, Yasser Arafat did not help when he would do basically whatever it takes to gather the support of nations around the world. So there was contradiction within his own words. The very first one is Arafat as the leader of the PLO, and he was democratically elected. There's just no doubt about it. So Arafat would say, the PLO is so important because it represents the legitimate and recognized representative of all Palestinians, inside and outside. What we mean by inside, those who are either refugees or remained in what's now Israel, or the refugees that are moved from what is now Israel to the West Bank or Gaza. They are refugees in their own, what used to be their own land, but after 48, that is no longer the case, and Israel is a reality on the ground. I'm not going to dispute that, and this is not the point of this argument. And then on the outside, between 700 and 750,000 Palestinians fled in 1948. That's a different story on how and why and who's responsible for it. But between those outside who live in refugee camps from across Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, a lot of them eventually got work and went to the Gulf countries, Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and so forth. And of course, Egypt. So the PLO is the sole representative of all Palestinians inside and outside. It's a secular organization, secular entity. Arafat did not do himself a favor when he would say the PLO must retain the independent Palestinian decision making. Meaning, what he was trying to say is, I will work, we will cooperate, we will consult with any of our allies. However, the final decision making is Palestinian. And that is within the PLO and within its own organizational structure. On the flip side, he would always also tickle the romantic and the emotional side of the Palestinian cause by declaring or reminding people that the Palestinian cause is the cause of all Arab nations and Arab countries, and that Al-Quds, Jerusalem, Orushalim, and Masjid al-Aqsa, the Aqsa Mosque, is the right and the responsibility of all Muslims and Muslim nations. So he made a mistake several times. And unfortunately, I remember when I was a child, and I would go to training camps at the PLO's office in the city where I was born and grew up. We were indoctrinated. We were just fed all that narrative. the Islam versus Jewish, the Arab versus Zionist, the West versus Middle East versus East. But my point is, no movement for the liberation and the freedom of its own people is perfect. They all make mistakes. But the reality on the ground should tell you what you need to know. And the truth is, if you want to learn about Islam because the Palestinian resilience and resistance inspired you, good for you. Please do that. Just don't, and I mean that with utmost respect, this is a plead, not an order. Don't associate exclusively the Palestinians and the Palestinian cause with the one religion that happens to be Islam. In fact, please do not associate the Palestinians as a people and the Palestinian cause with any ideology that is based solely on faith, meaning religions. I guess that's all I have to say about that. Thank you, and next I will be addressing some of Ben Shapiro and Piers Morgan, and my new favorite Sam Harris arguments regarding what's going on, or should I say, the massacre and the mass killing and the mass displacement of people in Gaza. Thank you. See you in the next video.